Thorpe Park is home to 24 different rides and attractions, and in today's video I'm ranking them from worst to best. If you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe because we are so close to 1,000 subscribers now. It's actually insane. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Number 24, High Striker. Number 23, Mr. Monkey's Banana Ride. Number 22, the Ready Player One experience at the Sunset Cinema. This is probably one of the worst 4D experiences I've ever been on. No. Just missing out on the top 20 is the Flying Fish. However, at number 20 is Double Tea Party, which is actually quite fun with a group of friends. And taking the 19th spot is Depth Charge, the park's oldest attraction. At number 18, we have Big Easy Bumpers, the park's Dodgems ride. And at number 17, I think, it's Zodiac. Now, this next one may be a bit of a hot take, however, I'm putting Rush at number 16. In my opinion, this ride used to be pretty good, however, nowadays, you find it one of the longest queues on park for one of the shortest cycles you have probably ever seen. It is absolutely outrageous. At number 15 is Storm Surge, which would be pretty good with a bit more theming. At number 14 is Ghost Train. In my opinion, this ride is absolutely shocking. I know it has its fair share of fans, but I think most people will agree that they leave this ride extremely underwhelmed. And if you're going to miss out any of the major rides at Thorpe, I would miss out Ghost Train. At number 13 is Quantum. Now, do not underestimate Quantum. Quantum is actually one of my favourite flat rides on park. It's usually quite quiet, it has some nice little pops of airtime, and it also utilises the old Thorpe Park entrance soundtrack, which is like one of the biggest bops you will probably ever hear. At number 12 is possibly one of the most hear me out rides ever. It's Rumba Rapids. Now, Rumba has its fair share of flaws. It doesn't have too much theming. It's quite unreliable, and overall, it's quite a short ride. However, in my opinion, it's probably the most chill ride on park. If it's really quiet, staff members will actually let you stay on and re-ride again, which I think is absolutely fantastic. However, coming in at number 11 is Vortex. I may have screamed 11 a bit too much there, but bit of an inside joke. Moving on, Vortex is one of my favourite flat rides at Thorpe Park. It provides a nice intense ride experience. It's quite hidden in the corner of Thorpe Park, and yet again, just like Quantum, it has a great soundtrack to it, which I'd go as far to say is perfection. Amazing. Wow. However, we now move into the top 10, which is where I'm going to start going into a bit more detail on these rides and why I like them so much. Originally opening in the year 2000 as Europe's tallest water ride, Tidal Wave makes number 10 on this list. Tidal Wave is said to be the equivalent of having 2.7 full bathtubs dunked on your head, and it definitely does feel like the equivalent of that. Located in the centre of Thorpe Park with some great theming pieces around, I believe that Thorpe Park would not be the same without Tidal Wave. However, I do recommend saving it for an extremely hot day because it is one of the wettest water rides in the country. Taking the number 9 spot on this list is Detonator. Detonator originally opened in 2001 and was intended to be a temporary ride. However, 24 years later, and it still stands as one of the scariest rides, if not the scariest ride Thorpe Park has to offer. Now located in the Big Easy Boulevard area of Thorpe Park, Detonator is a drop tower attraction that will leave you nothing short of breathless. Opening in 2018 as part of Thorpe Park's Year of the Walking Dead, Walking Dead the ride takes the number 8 spot on this list. This indoor roller coaster is by far one of the most underrated rides we have here in the UK. It may only be a family coaster, but with the level of theming this ride has, it makes it one of the scariest rides at Thorpe Park. And on some days, this ride can actually feature live actors. At number 7, we have Samurai. Samurai started its life at Chessington World of Adventures before being relocated to Thorpe Park, and it now stands as one of my favourite flat rides anywhere in the UK. Samurai is a very intense ride located right next to Soar and Hyperia, and it does give some really nice views of them two coasters. If you are going to make time to do any of the Thorpe Park flat rides, then I would recommend Samurai as your number 1 choice. At number 6, we have Colossus, which was the roller coaster that put Thorpe Park on the map. Did you know that Colossus is actually the longest roller coaster at Thorpe Park with a track length of 850 meters? Colossus opened in 2002, being the first roller coaster to hit 10 inversions, featuring a vertical loop, a cobra roll, 2 corkscrews and 5 heartline rolls. Nowadays, Colossus can be quite a rough ride, so I'd recommend keeping your head forward at all times. At number 5, we have Soar the Ride, the park's Gerstlauer Eurofighter, which opened back in 2009. Themed around the Saw franchise, this ride was marketed as the world's first horror movie themed roller coaster. Featuring a 100 degrees drop, this ride has the second steepest drop on any roller coaster in the UK. Just like Colossus, this ride can be very rough nowadays, so yet again I would recommend keeping your head forward. However, what really makes Soar the Ride is the theming, especially on the inside section of the ride and the queue line. With a few hidden surprises, this ride is unmissable on your visit to Thorpe Park. In at number 4 is Nemesis Inferno, the park's B&M inverted roller coaster. Nemesis Inferno is of course the sequel coaster to the original Nemesis at Alton Towers. Despite this, Nemesis Inferno has a completely different theme to the original Nemesis, being themed around a fiery volcano. Inferno is one of my favourite rides at Thorpe Park, however it can get quite busy, so I'd recommend hitting up this one first. Although this ride does not hold the same reputation as the original, it still is known as one of the best roller coasters in the UK. In at number 3 is the Swarm. The Swarm opened as the UK's first winged roller coaster, and fun fact, it was the first roller coaster I went on my first visit to Thorpe Park, so it held quite a special place in my heart for quite a long time. Themed around an alien apocalypse, this ride is by far the best themed at Thorpe Park. The ride provides some great near-miss elements, including going underneath an aeroplane wing and through a billboard. Fun fact, the band Yumi at 6 were actually asked to create a song about the Swarm, which they performed on opening weekend back in 2012. The fact that the Swarm has its own song performed by a real-life band has always been one of the coolest parts about this ride for me, and is why I rank it so highly amongst UK coasters. Our runner-up for today's video is Stealth, the Intamin accelerator, which opened back in 2006. Stealth actually now holds the world record for the world's fastest acceleration on a roller coaster, going from 0 to 80 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds. The ride is the second tallest at Thorpe Park and the third tallest in the UK. With these Intamin accelerators being a dying breed, I recommend heading out to Thorpe Park and riding Stealth whilst you still can. Occasionally, Stealth can actually roll back, and I was very lucky to experience this back in March 2023, and I look back on that as the best ride experience I have ever had on any ride in the world. And by no surprise, taking our number 1 spot in today's video is Hyperia, the Mack Rides hypercoaster, which opened at Thorpe Park in May 2024. Hyperia is the UK's tallest, fastest and most weightless roller coaster, with a maximum height of 236 feet, a maximum speed of 81 miles per hour and 14.8 seconds of airtime. This ride is by far the best in the UK, and I especially recommend getting a night ride on this thing, because without doubt it will blow you away. I could literally make a whole video on why Hyperia is so great. My literal first reaction to this ride was on the verge of tears, which has never happened to me on any other ride anywhere else in the world. So be sure to head out to Thorpe Park and check out Hyperia as soon as you can. Let me know down in the comment section below what theme park I should do next. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I shall see you all in the next video.